Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Cameron here, and I do like anime. So today I'm gonna talk, or I'm just gonna tell you about my top five favorite animes of all time. Warning: this list is subject to change. So let's get started. Number five is Sword Art Online. I know, Sword Art Online is a very unpopular anime, and most YouTube videos out there about it are bashing videos, and I'm alright with that. Um, Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and everyone is allowed to have their own opinion, and I'm okay with that. So, anyway, I watched Sword Art Online and I really did enjoy it. I liked the story a lot. I thought it was a very interesting concept, even though there are a lot of animes out there with the same concept of getting, how do you say, sucked into a video game or something, a different world, and being stuck there. But beyond that, the characters were not my favorite. They were not very interesting, and their dialogue was not that great. But all in all, I thought it was a decent show, and it was good enough to make this list, obviously, even though there are some shows that I probably like more than Sword Art Online. I think it's a good show, and I enjoyed watching it, so it's number five on my list. And if you agree with me, good for you. If you don't, good for you. All right. Number four is Fairy Tale, another anime that is not one of those very popular ones. Fairy Tale is a show that you either hate or you love, and I'm one of those people that loves it. It's a really easy show to watch and enjoy. It's really easy to follow, but at the same time, it's captivating. It's not very boring. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of interesting things happening. And it's kept me interested the whole 150 or so episodes I've watched. So I think it's a good show to watch, and I think it's a really good show to unwind watching after a long, stressful day, and I appreciate the show for that. I love all the characters in this show. I love all the stories that this show has, and this show comes as a highly recommended show to me. If you haven't already watched it, I recommend you at least give it a chance. Even though a lot of people don't like it, I think there are a lot of people out there that would appreciate this show. Moving on. Number three is Your Lie in April. This show is absolutely amazing. I couldn't get enough of it, and I watched it very quickly. It had me crying, it had me laughing, it had me on the edge of my seat waiting for what's happening or what's going to happen next. The plot is amazing, and the story is amazing, and the growth of the character is nothing short of inspirational, or the growth of the main character is nothing short of inspirational. The show is emotionally crippling, though, and you really need to prep yourself before watching it because sometimes it can be very hard to stomach, and it's a very sad show. But I think it is a good one. So, yeah, I think it's a really good show, and I watched it in about 3 hours. Not even. I watched it way slower than that because I was working at that time, but I still thought it was a great show. Anyway, numero dos is Citrus. This is another emotional roller coaster of a show. The one that this one had me in a tight hold, and it wouldn't let me go until I finished it, and I did that in about 6 hours again. I just couldn't stop until I knew what was going to happen in the end. well, at least at the end of the first season. I don't know if they're going to make another season. I know the manga goes way beyond what happened in the first season of the show, and I really hope that they do make a second season, but I'm not sure if they're going to because I don't know how well received this show was. But I liked it a lot. Anyway, it had me held tight until I knew it was going to happen. But it's not like it had anything important to do that day or anything like that. So it's all right. But this anime story is super interesting and progressive. It's a very interesting concept, and I think it's great for an anime to tell a story like this anime does. And I think more studios need to take a risk and do some more shows like this because they're very fun and interesting to watch. And it's a very progressive show, and I think it's really good for the gay and lesbian rights community. And it will have you yelling at your screen a lot, but it's worth it because in the end, it ends well and it ends on a high note. And I really like this one too. All right, now for some honorable mentions because this is only a 5-part list, and I definitely couldn't fit all of my favorite anime on just a 5-part list. So there are a couple of honorable mentions. Number one of the honorable mention being Cowboy Bebop. This anime is a great example of what anime has to offer us as a whole. I've watched and rewatched the show at least 20 times, and I still have yet to get tired of it. And I wish it could have made it onto the list as a whole. But there's just not enough room for every single anime that I love to be on this list, like I said already. So I had to give Cowboy Bebop an honorable mention because it is a very good show. Even though it's old, it has aged well like a fine scotch or wine. Oh, look, you can see my lizard moving around back there. Look at that cutie. But it has aged very well like a fine wine or scotch. Number dos of the honorable mentions is the Ghost Story dub. I'm not usually a fan of dubs. Personally, I'm a sub kind of guy because I think the subs get points across better. But yeah, dubs are not usually the best. But this dub is hilarious, and it's great for many of the reasons that dubs are usually pretty sucky, in my opinion. Generally, they don't follow the Japanese source material very well, and this dub definitely doesn't follow the Japanese source material very well, but they did a great job in making this dub. And the funny story behind it was that show was not received very well in Japan, so they were kind of cutting their losses on this dub, and they gave it to the dubbing team, and they said, you can do whatever you want with this show, but there is one thing, or was it two things? The one thing I know, the one rule that I know they had is that all the ghosts had to die or be put to sleep in the same way that the original did, or that happened in the original Japanese version of the anime. But that was pretty much it. They could do whatever they wanted with it, and they did a lot with it, and they did a great job. And it's an absolutely hilarious anime. It's another one of those animes that I watched very quickly and that I've rewatched many times, and it's just never gotten boring to me. It's always been a really funny anime. And it's also one of the animes that really got me into anime as a whole and got me really into watching anime. And I will always love it for that because I'm really glad that I've gotten into anime as much as I have because it's a great community and I love it. All right. Number one is Initial D. Big surprise. I've said this before that this is probably my favorite anime. So yeah, it's number one on the list. This is hands down, my favorite anime of all time. Easily. Excuse me. This is one of the first animes that I got religiously into and that I watched very seriously. I guess you could say as seriously as you can watch anime. And I've watched this series about 100 times, no joke. And I could probably recite the entire whole first stage. I've watched it that much. The show has a lot to offer. I love Japanese cars. I love Japanese car culture. So it makes a lot of sense why I love this show about Japanese mountain street racers in the golden age of Japanese car culture. This anime captures 90s Japanese car culture so well, and it's just an all-around great show. It's not just about cars. There's other drama that happens in the show. So it's not boring. It holds you tight. You want to keep watching it. And the race scenes in this show are just amazing. And all their Eurobeaty goodness, all the memes of Eurobeat. Initial D made Eurobeat a meme, and I'm not even mad because it's great. It's an all around great show, though. It's a highly recommended watch for me. If you haven't watched it, it's another show that has aged very well, even though the original animation in the first series was kind of shoddy. It's not the prettiest animation, but it's a great show and it's worth a watch. And it's super realistic how they did all the racing, and like the cars are just so realistic when they do like shots of the engine bays. They are so on point with the realism of the cars and their engines and their handling capabilities. It's so amazing, and I love that anime and all of its Eurobeaty greatness. Well, that was my top 5 favorite animes of all time. Like I said, warning, this list is subject to change. And let me know what you thought about it, and let me know what your top 5 favorite animes are in the comments down below. Well, thank you for watching my video, all 7 of you that are going to watch this. And I hope you stick around for more videos of me talking about anime and whatnot. Thank you for watching, and as always, love yourself, and don't forget to not let me retry that. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget, always love yourself and don't stop loving anime. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.